Alright. Where was I? I was talking about Nintendo. How they were fucking stupid. I feel like people have done a better job of saying it than I have, so you should probably go, like, do research on the whole scenario. Because, you know, you can take my word for it if you want. I don't think there's much of a reason for me to lie other than I like Melee, Nintendo doesn't like Melee. Therefore, uh, I have an incentive of lying about the scenario to get more people on my... I guess that's a possibility, but, you know, who cares? If you have a different opinion, then go for it. Because, fact of the matter is, I do not care about other people's opinions unless it influences mine. Because, I'm more than willing to hear out what other people have to say. But it feels like the reverse isn't true. It doesn't feel like many people are willing to hear out what others have to say. Which, I don't know why that is. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it feels like more and more people... How do I phrase it? So, the best way I've heard it described is, like, some people might think that you're wrong, right? While others think that you're evil in disagreeing with them. But you could be of that opinion. However, I don't think that's a good way to go about what you're doing. Hello, Mr. Guy. I'm well aware. I got it, buddy. Proper clothing. There it is. Go. Yeah, that's like the only reason that you come up here, by the way. Just to get old man sweater. Fine. Oh, that was, not exactly how I wanted things to turn out. Whatever, we made it down to, boarding slope. Something I learned recently is, surfing on snow and sand does not deplete the, durability on your sheet. That would have been good to know first time playing this game. It just doesn't tell you. Gotta figure it out on your own. You know, maybe that's what some people want to do. But I would rather have all the options that I have listed out. Or at least told to me in some way, shape, or form. Like, rich coming from a Melee player, you know? Like, man, there's so many... Right, buddy. I'm well aware about perfect dodge. Why I did it. Okay, that one was wrong. Just sidestep when he does that, right? Another issue I have with this game is so much of the combat is just perfect dodge. Why wouldn't you do it over and over again until they die? Crazy thing. Bundle of arrows. But I get that my playstyle and the way I do things probably isn't the way a lot of people do things. That's understandable. But it's understandable why you wouldn't cater to people like me. However, it doesn't make it feel any worse or any better for when I play the game. Because I was actually talking about it with a few other people who like certain games that I do, and a lot of the fun I feel for people who play the games that I do and who do the things that I do is optimizing what it is you're doing. But, you know, I get why some people might look at that and say, that's boring, I don't want to. But, to me, the fun is in the challenge of finding everything out, you know? And that's partly why I like fighting games, right? Because, the fun is in the effort that you put into it. which some people just don't like. I guess that's why some people, because I was also talking about the motion inputs of video games with a few other people like a few nights ago. And the reason that I brought it up was because, you know, I was going through YouTube and Core Gaming, good channel, go check them out. Was like in my recommendations. So what I then talked about was, or the video in question, which raised the topic, was something along the lines of why motion inputs still exist, which like made me remember that one dude who said motion inputs are not the way of the future. In a few years they're gonna be gone. Blah 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 blah. Motion inputs bad, and they are only for gatekeeping. Which, no, you're wrong. Like, I don't know what to tell you aside from you're wrong in that statement. Because, motion inputs exist for a reason, and they stay existing for the reason that they do. Because, the reason that they exist is to limit your options, comma, and also to have more options, which might sound contradictory if you're not familiar with fighting games. However, if you look at things like Guile's Sonic Boom, right? Yeah, that's a big example that Core had. Like the motion input is hold back, push forward, and then I think it's punch. Well, yeah, it's almost definitely punch. And Guile's flash kick is also back down angle, right? And then I think it's up kick. You know, I actually haven't played Street Fighter in like a whole lot of time. But regardless, no, it's something along those lines, which the way it impacts your playstyle is Guile is a character that wants to be retreating, right? He's a character that benefits greatly from zoning and like retreating from the opponent. And and a big reason is because he his motion inputs favor that, right? Because you could just hold back down, and it'll count as a back down input as well as back. So you could just do hold back down, and or back, and then just do sonic booms and flash kicks when people get too close. Like that, good. That's like his playstyle. And as a result, you can't really do that when you're walking forward, right? Like, walking forward and sonic booming would be incredibly weird. But it would also be, like, very good. Because then you could just do sonic booms, follow it, and then, like, do whatever else. Which, almost like the motion input exists for holding back specifically to avoid things of that nature, because you know, his archetype just doesn't fit it. Like, I mean, I get why some people might not understand it, but also I feel like, because it was a video that the dude published, right? He said something along the lines of, motion inputs are bad, no reason to have them. Quote this, like, do whatever you want with it. But, like, I stand by the opinion. Which I feel like, that's a fine opinion to have. However, if you're gonna put it out in a video of that nature, I feel like you should do your research, right? Because it really does... More than anything, guy just seemed misinformed about the issue. Or about the subject, rather. Because I don't think motion input... Like, just another thing to put effort into. Which, you know, to people who are into fighting games, the enjoyment is in the effort. But also, guy played, like, arena fighters, so I get why he would be of that opinion, right? because arena fighters are typically tend to be more simple, but as a result, I feel like they lack complexity a lot of the times. Because you can't really do things like microspace in arena fighters just because you don't have the camera or the moves for it, right? Because most of them are like, most arena fighters have moves that are big sweeping hits, right? Like the biggest arena fighter I think that came out recently was either Jump Force or like Boku no My Hero Hypoglycemia. And it's like a lot of key blasts and a lot of people just like throwing out big, basically AoE hits. But you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You could enjoy what you want. However, I just feel like as a result, there's less of an emphasis on individual moves, right? Because you can look at things like fucking what's a good example I could give right now? Like in Smash Ultimate, there are jabs, right? And a lot of people like might not just use jabs because they think they're bad or something. Which like couldn't be further from the truth because jabs are busted in that game. But I get why people would not like, what's it called? Why people wouldn't understand that if they're just a casual consumer of fighting games. Which is weird to think about, people being casual consumers of things that are, I think at least, inherently meant to be taken in a competitive nature. I mean, but you could also say, but games like Smash Brothers aren't fighting games, they're party games. Well, you do play Smash games at parties, and you do have fun doing it. And, like, the entry level is great and is, like, real simple, right? Because it's real easy to pick it up and, like, understand things. But I think you'd be hard-pressed to say something like, after watching a set, I think you would be hard-pressed to say that Melee, like, Ultimate, are not competitive games. You know, like I guess you could make the argument, oh, you're not supposed to play them that way, which, like, if people can play them that way, and they do play them that way, therefore, they are meant to be played that way. Because otherwise, who are you to say how you should play things? Also, I feel like I should be... Oh, hey. I feel like you should, that's immersion breaking as hell. Hooey. I feel like, but as I was saying, at least, I feel like saying that things aren't meant to be consumed in a certain manner is basically just appointing yourself, like, as Mr. I am the most important one, everything that I think is correct. Therefore, you have to listen to me. I disagree with the entirety of that, really. I'll be honest though, I'm guilty of it sometimes. You know, I'm not perfect. I'll be the first to admit. But ultimately people enjoy the things the way they do because they enjoy them. Right? So I don't think you are one to say you should not do this thing because I don't agree with it. Big moment from the trailer. Look. Running away. They're running away. Take all the shit and leave, honestly. I don't think fighting them is worth it. I mean, I guess the amount of things that you could interact with in this game are neat, but also I feel like a lot of them don't really manifest in the actual game. Mushroom. That's really good, actually. Just having speed upgrades are very nice. Yeah, just loot this old man's everything really. Has it, then I'm taking it, and there's nothing he can do about it. Game wants you to like cut down trees, make a bridge, but actually, yeah, why wouldn't I do that? To clear this mountain. I mean, I could definitely do it with the food I have, but that's a pain. Is the thing. Can I cut down this tree? What the fuck? Okay, guy. Alright. In that case. Well. Fuck you, guy. Good. Wait, I already bombed it. Nice. Fire arrows. That'll be useful at a different point in time. What was I talking about? I've already forgotten. I'm gonna go back in the recording, but also don't want to do that. Because, I feel like the appeal, or at least to me, making it the appeal to this series is just how effortless it is. Which, some people can see it as lazy. I see it as refreshing. Which, like, I guess I get why people would view it as lazy. But, you know, being lazy on YouTube tends to work, because why would I put effort into things when I could just upload forever? Make a constant stream of content, and YouTube algorithm would love it. God, what a... It's a shame that that's the way things are, but they do be that way. The people don't think it be how it is, but it do. That's unfortunate. I make it to that one. At a ledge. Oh, whatever. As I was saying, I'm specifically referring to, like, the whole thing Donkey's doing. Love him or hate him, man's is spitting. Like, at some point, YouTube, well, if you guys don't know, right? Video Game Donkey, big YouTube content creator. You've probably heard of him. If you don't know anything about him, just know that he making videos. And a lot of them, like, you could tell they have effort and whatnot put into them. Some real elbow grease, but recently... excuse me. Don't think that was picked up on the mic, but... did burp. Recently, he put out a video titled, "I'm done making good videos," which is, like, called back to another video, but, you know, that's not important. But basically, he started uploading, like, smaller videos that have, like, little to no effort put into them. And even then, they're still pretty good. But, I feel like another reason as to why they were as good as they are... well, that's unfortunate. A lot of reasons as to why they're as good as they are is because he's doing them... it's satire, right? Like, that's... I feel like that's where a good amount of the enjoyment comes from. Because, you know, in the video title, "I'm done making good videos," he was critiquing YouTube landscape, in which a lot of the big content creators that are being favored by YouTube algorithm tend to just be people who shit out content over and over without much thought or effort put into them, right? Or alternatively, they hire somebody else to put as much effort into them in the form of editors, which, like, editors are great, right? I see the utility of them. However, I feel like something is lost in you like unloading that onto somebody else. Like if you don't, how do I phrase this? If you aren't constantly monitoring what the god damn it, wrong button. I feel like if you aren't constantly monitoring what your editors are doing, a lot of it like stops becoming your own, right? Which is partly why I don't like the idea of having editors, at least where I'm at right now, because I don't know what they're gonna be doing. Like it's my job to supervise what they doing, but I don't know if like I don't know. It feels like there's some part that is lost in having editors. But I understand why people do it because, you know, it helps employ some people. That's always good. In fact, I would say that's like the best part of it. And it also like lets you focus on the content creation itself as opposed to like the editing process of that content. But I feel like because you yourself aren't editing, you can't really have your creative vision unfold as well as you might want it to. But also, some people might just not fucking care. Who knows? Because, to me at least, I want to be making good content, or content that I think is good at the very least. Because, you know, I don't want to be putting things out if I'm not proud of it, right? Or if I'm not, like, happy with it in some way. Because this series probably ain't gonna be, like, something I'm terribly fond of. But, if anything, it's just there to, like, ease me into commentary without needing other people to be around. Because, you know, doing commentary is weird. Because you might think of it as, like, me talking to people. No, this is me talking to no one. Right? I'm sitting here in front of, like, 2 monitors. Because I do have 2, which, I keep mentioning the details of like what my setup is because I don't think much of it, right? But a lot of people like view that as flexing, which, you know, that's not what I'm trying to do. Like I'm trying to provide a clear picture, but it comes out in such a way where it feels like I'm flexing unnecessary details, you know? Which is something I have to work on definitely. But I feel like providing the context of what it is, like I'm not trying to flex. I'm just stupid. Is the thing. I guess that's a good way to phrase it. But oh wait, I can't freeze it. Whoa, no. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. But yeah, I'm literally just sitting here doing my own thing. Where was I go? Well, where was I going with that? Oh right. For commentary, I'm just sitting here in front of a microphone talking to literally nobody in my room, right? Which people outside of my room might think I'm fucking crazy or like I'm talking to somebody over the phone or something along those lines. But despite how shameless I might seem, I do in fact sometimes care about what other people think, despite how many times I try to convince myself otherwise. But I really don't like the cooldown on stasis. Gotta wait. Especially if like a lengthy puzzle relies on it. God, I gotta fuck with. Can I fuck with the camera sensitivity actually? All right, that's significantly better. Yeah, but It is very weird for very weird for me to be doing this, right? Which I feel like a lot of what I'm doing is weird because if you look at it, right, if you're watching it, that's also pretty weird because I'm literally just a stranger that people probably haven't met talking about nonsense to people I haven't met. And like maybe people listen, maybe they don't, and I have no way of knowing. Literally just putting shit on the wall, and maybe people will watch it, maybe they won't. A weird time we live in. Like you take a step back and look at the grand theme, the grand scheme of things. A lot of it is just weird. Weird to think about. It's weird to observe. It's weird that you live in a time in which this is, to an extent, normal. Like, I guess the normal is a subjective term, right? Like, blah, 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 blah. All that fun stuff. But, sometimes I just think about things like that. Just, I'm not upset about it, right? I think it's weird. I think it's good. But it's something I think about pretty often, considering how much time I spend. Oh? Right, he's gonna do the ghost teleport, if I remember correctly. But, a lot of the times I just think, wow, weird. Crazy. I was actually talking about that to somebody else also recently. Which maybe I should, well, no. I was gonna say maybe I should record conversations I have with people on Discord, but I feel like that's pushing it a bit too much. I feel like that's, some things are best left just being referred to as opposed to being something that you record, you know? But talking to somebody about how it's weird to think like some people that you can form very emotional attachments to are people that you've like never actually met and might not even ever meet. But the attachments that you have to those people are still like real nonetheless. You know? It's like, you know, some people might say, you shouldn't make attachments like that. Nah. I understand that, like, maybe you shouldn't, right? Maybe you shouldn't have, relationships if it's, like, online, whatever. Like, I understand that there should be some level of physical closeness. But also, why would you go for that? Like, it's a real strange thing to think about, because, the utility of having, like, close friends, people that you could talk to and, like, could meet face to face, or, like, great and all. And, you know, you shouldn't try to replace those relationships with something online. But I feel like having online friends is still something that you should definitely do if you, or should continue doing if you are aligned in that. It's just different. It's something new. Like, I really want to see studies on like how it affects people and what their life is like after they do things of that nature, you know?
Well done there.
Because I think about like analytic scriptures a lot, right? Which the way when I say it like that, it sounds like fucking reading off of like stone tablets or whatever.
Princess was my own daughter.
But I think a lot about like studies with how people are currently living, all that fun stuff. And a lot of it is like real interesting how much it helps and hinders people. And a lot of it's really depressing, so I don't know that I want to talk about that right now, at the very least. I'm in relatively high spirits. No pun intended. But no. I don't want to put a damper on my mood. There. Wait, what? Why is... hold on, hold on. Why is B set to glide and not X? I thought X was set to pull out. I don't fucking know. Who knows? Yeah, why is... I don't fuck. I would imagine, like, a lot of the playthrough is gonna have just blank moments like that, right? Which, I don't know how much time that was, because, whenever you're in front of a microphone and you're expected to speak, I feel like time feels like it flows differently. But, you know, like, it's probably weird to explain to somebody who doesn't do things like voiceovers, right? Because, I know I could talk to a few of my friends about that, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I get it. Definitely, for sure. But, to rando viewer, I feel like that's a feeling that you would have to experience if you want to understand. Like, only way you would experience it is by doing it. At that point, I don't think you would be all that... What the... God damn, bitch. What the fuck was... Alright, I was planning on jumping there. But, real strange feeling. Because, like, I could take brief pauses, like, here and there, right? And it wouldn't feel all that strange if I was having, like, a normal conversation with somebody, right? To, like, occasionally pause. But, you're expected to talk about something. Alright, where am I going? I mean, I guess it's free roam now. I guess I'll go to, I'll just go to the village, and I'll just go to Ganon's. Can't carry any more melee weapons. Fuck this one. Oh. Well, looks like y'all's had it covered. Fuck. Yeah, I get that one, buddy. I too hate my family sometimes. Just when they keep doing things that are a hindrance to... You know how that be. Hate to see your family hurt themselves. Calm down, buddy. Calm down. I mean, I could probably just book it to, where I know, like, good gear is. Down, buddy. Calm down. Damn, this horse really doesn't want to... I don't want to chill. Should have just rocket propelled myself everywhere. Damn. Down. Yeah, but I made it out of the thing. I'll probably end one whenever I get to like a big cutscene. What the fuck? Oh, okay, some bokoblin. Aw, why did it have to be a 2-yaw horse? So slowly in this game. Want to be there now. There's so much downtime in like point A to point B. Which, you know, some people might say, oh, go explore the areas between point A and point B. I say, why would I ever do something like that when I could just go from point A to point B? Especially if the goal is to, like, get good shit. But, speaking of game design, recently I've been thinking a lot about, what the deal is with, games like Project Zomboid, like survival sandbox games, right? Like games like, Project Zomboid, Don't Starve, Minecraft, you know the like. And I feel like a lot of them just aren't that great in their overall designs. But also, who am I to judge? I'm rando on the internet. I'm like, I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. But it is of my opinion that games like Project Zomboid, not a big fan of. And it's not an issue with the genre. I feel like it's an issue with the game that I have with the game. Because, you know, Don't Starve is a game that I have put a ton of hours in, and one of my favorite games. Just a real fun time. However, I wouldn't say it's the best kind of game, you know? But also, I am too good at it for my own good. Oh, hey, fish. Which might sound weird to, like, some people, right? Because, like, oh, well, you're good at the game, you know? Like, optimizing. Which, like, yeah. But, it feels like there is only so much you could do with Don't Starve. And, but, like, what you could do is a lot. It's... I don't know. I feel like I've gotten too good to the point where it feels like a solved game. There you go. That's a probably a significantly better way to put... And I'm drowning. That's like a significantly better way to put it. But games like Project Zomboid, I feel like there isn't much to do. Because here the gimmick behind that game, right? You're zombie apocalypse survivor man. You go around, you do certain things, and like you just try to survive, right? That's why it's a survival game. But the issue I have with like how the game goes about doing things is the way it handles risk and reward. Right? Because the primary enemies in that game are zombies, as one would expect. Which, like, that's fine. You know, if you want zombie game, then play zombie game. But also, it feels like there's no variation between the zombies. Like, because there's no variation in the enemies, it all feels like you're doing the same thing over and over, especially because of like the way combat works in that game, where you don't want to deal with multiple zombies at once. Like, the most you want to be handling is like 2 to 3, without like the use of something such of the terrain, right? Or like something else that you have, like parking a car over them, which is what I've typically been seeing for missions that are like kill an amount of zombies, which the game itself doesn't have missions. All of those are self-imposed challenges. Which, like, that's how I've been playing Project Zomboid, because I feel like that's one of the best ways to play Project Zomboid. Because if you want to play that game just to survive, then there isn't much stopping you from just holding up and not interacting with the primary threats. Like, if you just clear out a good enough amount of zombies in a certain area, there's nothing stopping you from just putting up a few farms, surviving off of that, like just occasionally going out, maybe getting food, making your own. Like, you could be incredibly self-sustaining pretty easily and pretty quickly, which in my opinion means, why would you fuck with zombies? Especially because of the way that zombies work, because like you can get infected in that game, which like that's on paper it's a very neat mechanic, right? Like being able to just be infected and there have no cure, it's like, it's realistic, it's neat. But on the flip side, right? Each thing is a random chance of you being infected. Like each like every tick of damage that you take is a random chance of you being infected. So if you get scratched, that's like 8% chance. If you get bitten, that's like 8% chance. If you get like anywhere in between, 8% chance. And there's no way to cure it. Because you know, it makes sense that there's no way to cure it. If there was a cure, then you would just go around and like curing everybody of the disease. Which, like, you know, it makes sense in the world that it's set in. However, as a result of the world it's set in, or as a result of that being like a mechanic of the game, right? I feel like that also incentivizes you from just saying, I'm not going to mess with anything and I'm just going to hold up. Because if I go out and do something, then I will probably die. And I like, why would I take that risk when the risk isn't necessary? And like, I get what they're trying to do with the zombification mechanic. I think that the consequences that it has is just a detriment to the game. Which, like, I know you could toggle it on or off, so, like, you know, you could say, oh, well, because you could toggle it, why does it matter? Which, like, that's not the point, right? Like, you could toggle a lot of things in a lot of games, and you could mod a lot of things in a lot of games. Like, that isn't the point in what I'm saying. The point in what I'm saying is, I like the concept of the mechanic, however, in practice, the mechanic itself is not that great. Because of the, how do I put it? Because of the consequences that such a mechanic has. Actually, pretty sure I'm going the wrong way. Should be a shrine somewhere around here that has gear that I really want. I don't remember where it's at. Somewhere up here. But yeah, Project Zomboid, I think the game is good as a survival game. It's not something that I would be terribly interested in. But I feel like the reason why I don't play it as much is, one, the game feels like it doesn't feel great to play, in my opinion, right? Which, like, some people might disagree. Maybe I just haven't put enough time in it. Who knows? The menus themselves feel pretty clunky. And like the zombie mechanic is just the thing that pushes it over the edge for me, because it's like I'm never going to interact with these things, because even if I am incredibly prepared with them and I get scratched even once, there is a chance that my run is dead and I can't do anything about it. Like it's just, I get what they were trying to do, but like I think inherently in such a mechanic it's just not great. But, you know, some people might like it, who knows? Like I had a similar take in with things like battle royales, which is a genre that I enjoy a bit, right? I mean, I think that the genre itself is pretty flawed, right? Oh. Oh. I think the genre itself is pretty flawed, right? Like maybe it's, I wouldn't say that it's bad, right? Like if I was speaking as a on a critical level, I don't think that the genre itself is bad or like doomed to fail, anything like that. I just think that the flaws that the genre has are something that should be thought of whenever you would be designing it, right? Because my take for that is the most fun parts of the game are in the combat, right? Like those are the most fun parts that people have with the game. But the issue is if you have too big of a world, then like you just don't experience that as much. But also if the world is too small, then you get that to a point where it's crippling, because how are you gonna like do much of anything, you know? Like, how are you gonna get the things in order to do the things? But somebody who follows me on twitter.com was actually like, oh well, actually I like the other parts of the game. I think the other parts of the games are real fun. Which weird thought to me, because like yeah, you could be of that opinion, and I think it's great that you are of that opinion, because it gives me another perspective. But like, I don't know, it's just it's something that I hadn't thought of as a possibility, which is weird. But and like as a result, I kind of had to like shift what my thoughts on the genre itself were. And like the place I'm currently sitting at is, I think the genre is fun. I wouldn't go so far as to say that the genre is good. Because like the big battle royales on the market are probably something like Apex and Fortnite, right? But you know, I played both of those games, right? Because I think they're fun. But like there aren't games that I would play as much as like other people do, you know? Which I don't think I'm crazy in saying that. Well, I could have just, well, that's unfortunate. But I got the climbing bandana, which is what I was here for. Might as well just finish the thing while I'm here. But yeah, I tend to look at things through a critical lens, which like to a lot of people might be annoying. And it's like, don't ask questions, just consume product. Which sometimes, yeah, that's what you should do. But and like, you know, people obviously don't always just think, oh, don't ask questions, just consume the product. Whenever they get annoyed in my saying the things that I do. But a lot of the times it feels like that's what it like that. How do I phrase it? A lot of times it feels as though that's what some people are saying, because they don't want to look at their favorite games through a critical eye because they might think it's bad afterwards. Which, like, a game being bad, in my opinion, has nothing to do with it being fun, right? Because you could look at Sonic 06 and you could have a blast with that game in spite of how bad it is. Like, the two aren't mutually exclusive. But with that, I think that's a good stopping point. Because I got... Where's it at? A fucking bandana.